Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to welcome you to the October 3rd, 2011 Morganton City Council meeting. I'd like to welcome, we have a nice crowd with us this evening, and at this time I'd like to call on Sheldon Stevenson to lead us with their invocation. Steve.
I wanted to ask if any of you have watched last Sunday night 60 Minutes. And we showed in one segment a city in Japan that was completely devastated, by hurricanes and floodwaters. And you try to identify with them, but it was rather impossible. When the commentator went around and talked to people about their lost families, their last homes, tears ran out of their slanted eyes, and tears ran down their faces and so on. In fact, some of them, when they were asked about their homes and so on, they just couldn't respond. They just, I can't do it, I can't tell you, so on. Now, the reason I brought this up was because the mayor of the city in charge of rebuilding and all like that, there was no civic transportation. So in all this whole segment, he came around riding on a bicycle. And so I was just wondering if you ever had an experience on a bicycle, whether that might be something you need to know sometime. But when we see these cities as we did, how wonderful is our city? How beautiful is the place here? How warm really is the fellowship? How important is your office and the city council office in helping the city to become what only this city can become? As I said, I have said lots of times, I lived and worked in cities in central New York. But when I came here, the community just sort of gathered me in and was just a warm place to be alive and to think. So with that in mind, may we pray. Dear Lord and God, our sincere prayers go out to the people of Japan and to other places where homes and the life of loved ones have been destroyed. We offer a prayer of thanksgiving for our city. We are grateful for the beauty of life here, the tender, clean warmth of our town. We pray in these moments for our city council, for our mayor. We give you, God, sincere thanks for the members of the council who, after many years of service, are retiring. Bless them and guide them, Lord. Grant the council vision, life commitment, and energy in the midst of difficult decisions. Lead them, spirit them, direct them. Oh God, be present in our city always. Amen.
Thank you, Steve. Introduction of our City Council. On my far right is Dr. Alfred Hamer, City Councilman, Forrest Fleming, City Councilman, Steve Settlemeyer, City Attorney. I'm Mel Coyne, Mayor. Sally Sandy, City Manager. Larry Wisnett, City Councilman. John Cantrell, City Councilman. Kelly Russell, Recording Secretary. And Joy Hearn Guzman is interpreting for our deaf community tonight. Welcome, Joy. Public advocacy issues and strategies. We'll get into Fire Prevention Week in just a second, but a couple of notes I want to make. Sally and I attended a 100th birthday for American Roller Bearing, who's president in our community and does a great job and been here for many years. And it was a very enjoyable evening, and they had the, of course, a motion picture of early, or slides, or of early American roller bearing. I mean, to be 100 years old in this country, be family owned is very difficult. And they're a great part of our community and a great employer, and participates in this community greatly in all the things that we do. again, I want to wish them again another 100 years for the family to remain active. Fire Prevention Week is October 9 through 15, 2011. And we have a proclamation that Sally just handed me. Instead of reading it word for word, I'll start it off. And whereas the City of Morganton is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting our city, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are the location where people are at the greatest risk from fire. Nearly 3,000 people die each year as a result of home fires. And I would like to make this in the form of a proclamation. All in favor say aye. Aye. But again, we are a public safety community, and it makes it even more important because of the two jobs that our guys in public safety do every day for us. And we're, if not the only one in North Carolina, there's another one in South Carolina in Spartanburg, and it's been very good to our community. Our guys are highly trained and do extremely well for the citizens of our community. Next item is in Municipal Power Agency number 1, and Public Power Week is 2 through 8, and of course we're set up with a table this whole week out in the lobby. And I want to read a little bit of this also. Whereas we, the citizens of Morganton, have chosen to operate a community-owned, locally controlled, not-for-profit electric utility, and as consumers and owners of our electric utility have a direct say in utility operations and policies. And whereas the City of Morganton provides our homes, businesses, industries, and local government agencies with reliable, efficient, and cost-effective electricity, employing sound business practices designed to ensure the best possible service for not-for-profit rates. Make this in the form of a motion, guys.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And again, I'll make a side comment, is that I told a group out at Grace Ridge last Thursday is that our electricity stays on. It's 99.993% reliability, and we're one of the best operating electric cities in the state of North Carolina. And our guys do a little bit of everything. I mean, we sent a group down to, and I'll deal with that in a few minutes, but down to Rocky Mount to help with their Hurricane Irene and so on and so forth. Let's move on to the emergency. Well, that is this. We've got a beautiful plaque for our department. Brooks, you've seen this, and we greatly appreciate what your people did, and they appreciate it in Rocky Mount. Sally has a side note she may want to say because we got a letter from them down there. Go ahead, Sally.
When Hurricane Irene hit in eastern North Carolina, we participate with the other electricities and send crews to help each other out as we need it. And we had a request from Rocky Mount, and we sent 2 of our electric department employees, Bart Chapman and Gary Benfield, down. We sent a bucket truck, and they spent 3 days there installing transformers, putting up service drops, and helping to restore power to the citizens of Rocky Mount. We received this thank you from Electricities for doing that. We received a thank you from Rocky Mount. The Rocky Mount Electric Director was quite complimentary of the professionalism and the knowledge of our employees, and we're really proud of that and glad to have sent them. A funny story, while they were there working, a customer came out and saw the city seal on the truck that said City of Morganton, and came out and talked to them and said that she was familiar with Morganton, that she actually loved Morganton and had been to visit Morganton on the occasion of the historic Morganton Festival in the past. So
Very good.
It's a very small world.
Yeah, it is.
And we were very fortunate to not be in the storm's path and to be able to send some help to eastern North Carolina.
That's a credit to our department, Brooks. Be sure to tell your people. And of course, Roy Jones is with us from Electricities. Roy, you're on for the Public Power Awards. Roy's from Raleigh and was kind enough to come up here and give us some awards.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council members. Also, I want to echo my thanks to the City of Morganton. I know that the folks in eastern North Carolina trying to recover from Hurricane Irene, they were struggling, and y'all sending folks there. We got a lot of accolades from the cities in the West, and it just kind of helped lift their spirits because they had a tremendous amount of devastation to overcome. So once again, thank you very much for sending your crews to help out. I do want to highlight 4 awards tonight that the City of Morganton is going to receive. And the 4 awards are in the areas of competitive business environment, energy efficiency, financial stability, and service excellence. Now, I want to take a few minutes and just describe what each of these are and what it was specifically that the City of Morganton did to achieve these awards. First of all, for the competitive business environment, this award is set up for cities that are looking to promote small businesses and create a positive environment for small businesses. It also makes use of economic development and land use planning purposes. So with the City of Morganton and the work that you all did in putting together your Mission 2030 plan to go and say, how do we continue to promote a positive, competitive environment and to compete for jobs in this global marketplace. So that's the area in which you all excelled and were recognized in the competitive environment area. With regards to the energy efficiency, this is a program that's designed to recognize cities that have energy efficiency programs. And I will tell you that Morganton is an example that we point to around the Electricity's membership, both in the Eastern Agency with Agency 119 cities, and then in the West with 32 cities. We point to you all as a program that other cities should model. You've got your year-round weatherization program. You go in and you do the energy audits on homes, and then you've got your energy efficiency education seminars that you put on and try to help promote energy efficiency. So those are the areas that we try and point others in the municipal electric business to you all to learn and apply those best practices that are going on here. The other area that I want to recognize you in is your financial stability area. And as you think about your customers and you think about things that you're trying to do to help your customers and to provide a high degree of service and flexibility for your customers, you all do that. You've got the program that has equal pay payment so that customers that are struggling to make payments can levelize their payments. You've got the opportunity for them to pay online. They can pay with credit cards. And one of the things I do want to highlight that I take my hat off to you all that you do is the Project Warm program that you've got. So you've got a program set up here so that customers can donate monthly on their electric bill to help other customers in times of need. And that's something that I think we all should be aspiring to do. So congratulations to you all for doing that. The last area I want to emphasize is the award that you're receiving for the service excellence. And this comes about as a result of all the work that you do to communicate with your customers. You've got bill inserts that you use to communicate with your customers. You've got your online services, your website that you use to communicate with the customers that they can easily go to and look for things to do, like in the area of energy efficiency and weatherization. So you've got your website set up so that it's friendly, the customers can get on it, and they can quickly get to the information they need. Also note that you all now have a Facebook and a Twitter account, and you're using YouTube, so you definitely are moving forward in this whole social media arena and providing more communication services to your customers. So congratulations, and once again, thank you for having me here this evening.
Thank you, Roy.
On behalf of the City of Morganton and the Electric Department staff, I want to thank you for recognition of these awards.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you a lot. Brooks, thank you for coming. We have a
Joshua for all those
Joshua for the
communications.
Facebook and all the communications. Thank you very much. We have a lot to be blessed and thankful for in this community. And besides the electric department, public safety, as well as recreation, all the different departments. And I will say that a few things that I wanted to mention, and I didn't do it under the public advocacy, but besides the roller bearing is article in today's paper that Lake James in the Catawba chain has the best clarity of all the rivers in that chain. And that's saying something. People don't appreciate that. But it is very, very good to have a lake like that and have it just a few miles away from our city limits. Festival, we just finished our 30th annual Historic Morganton Festival with the largest crowd we've ever had. And a lot of accolades go to Sharon and her staff and all the volunteers and sponsors. I mean, an unbelievable amount of sponsors that made it possible for the festival to be put on this year. Again, thank you, Sharon, and tell your staff. I believe that's anything else on the advocacy you want to say?
Yeah, could I say just one thing that I neglected to say earlier? Tomorrow, Tuesday, October 4th, from 5:30 to 6:30, the Chamber of Commerce is hosting a Meet the Candidates reception, and that is at Western Piedmont Community College. Immediately following that, and that's for all candidates that are running for office in all of Burke County, and then from 6:30 to 8, immediately following that in the auditorium at the community college will be the school board forum, and that will take place tomorrow night.
Very good. Anything else from any of the council members? Okay. Moving on to consent agenda, Sally.
The consent agenda before you tonight has 2 items included. Those items are the regular minutes from the meeting held on September the 12th and tax releases in the amount of $4,212.89. The staff asks that those be considered in one motion unless someone would like an item discussed separately.
Make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as is.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, appearances, Beverly. Go to that microphone and state where you reside, and you're here for the Homeless and Hunger Week proclamation, and I'll read it. If you want me to read it first? Okay.
Good evening.
Okay.
I am Beverly Carlton. I live at River Hills Lane here in Morganton, and I am representing the Continuum of Care for the City of Morganton. The Continuum of Care is a group of social human service agencies that come together to provide services to the target group that are considered homeless and may be hungry. So we're working to provide solutions to those issues. And thank you.
Okay, all right, let me read the Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week, November 13 through 20, 2011. Whereas for the past several years, the National Coalition for the Homeless and the National Student Campaign Against Hunger and Homelessness has sponsored National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week, and the Burke County Continuum of Care have been actively working to end hunger and homeless in Morganton and Burke County. And whereas the purpose of the proclamation is to educate the public about the many reasons people are hungry and homeless, including the shortage of affordable housing in Morganton for very low-income residents, and to encourage support for homeless assistance service providers, as well as community service opportunities for students and school service organizations. And whereas there are organizations committed to sheltering, providing supportive services, as well as meals and food supplies to the homeless, including Alpha, Burke County Public Schools, Burke United Christian Ministries, Catawba Valley Behavioral Health Care, Department of Social Services, Easter Seals, UPC, Flynn Christian Home, House of Refuge, Mental Health Partners, Olive Hill Community Economic Development Corporation, the Meeting Place Mission, Veterans, and many other community partners. And whereas the theme of National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week 2011 is Bringing America Home, and whereas the Morganton City Council recognizes that hunger and homelessness continues to be a serious problem for many individuals and families in Morganton, therefore be it resolved that the Morganton City Council hereby proclaims November 13 through 20, 2011 as Hunger Homelessness Awareness Week. Be it further resolved that the Morganton City Council encourage all citizens to recognize that many people do not have housing and need support from citizens and private, public, nonprofit service entities. Issued this the 3rd day of October 2011. Mel Cohen, Mayor. Sally Sandy, City Clerk. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
We do encourage you to attend the events that we will be having the week of the 13th. Thank you.
Thank you, Beverly. Appreciate you coming. New business, public hearing. To consider zoning ordinance amendment for commercial subdivision signs. I'll open the public hearing. Sally?
This is an ordinance amendment dealing with commercial and industrial developers, and lots of times you have property that they are looking to subdivide so that they can develop it into more than one business. And in those cases, and a lot of times, you have access roads, frontage roads. Usually the businesses may not be up at the front part of the development because that's how they get developed. In order to make it easier for the public to view these properties, to find these businesses, to get to where they're trying to get to, this recommended change is looking at a change for signage and allowing that one commercial subdivision identification sign would be permitted, and put that near the frontage road and the connection with how the development is happening, so that you don't create a situation where you have just a proliferation of signs there. You've probably seen these used in, I know they're used in Hickory and close by, and some other communities where they're all actually identified that are in that particular subdivision on one sign. The staff and the Planning Commission considered the item and recommend that the commercial and industrial subdivisions be allowed to install up to 50 square feet of identification signage at the entrance to subdivision. That would be in the general business, light industrial, and the heavy industrial zoning districts. Public hearing was advertised in the News Herald, and Lee is here tonight if we have any further questions or explanations.
Okay, public hearing is open. Anyone wishing to speak for or against? Council?
Motion to adopt a zoning ordinance amendment to section 9-4010 F5A of the zoning code to allow commercial and industrial subdivisions to install up to 50 square feet of identification signage at their entrance with GB, LI, and HI zoning districts.
Have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, next public hearing. Consider an amendment to certain rezoning conditions within the Henry's Glen planned residential development. Sally?
Henry's Glen was originally dealt with and approved on March the 3rd, 2003. It was a conditional use permit at the time and was specific to the development that was taking place in that subdivision. Since that time, there have been 2 other occasions that we have amended that conditional use and that particular plan for this development. And they've dealt with anything from eliminating some lots, and in one of the phases replacing them with some condominium lots. Kind of tried to swap out what was happening there as conditions and needs changed. What you have before you tonight, a different developer now owns that property and is looking to make some changes, and basically what they're looking at doing is requesting the amendment for the overall plan that would eliminate basically the proposed clubhouse and the pool area. That was part of the phase 4 of the development, and the common things that would be a part of that. You do not have them included in your packet, but the city has, as we indicated in your materials, the signed copies and resolutions that really come from the existing owners that are in the subdivision with their agreement to this idea. And Lee is also here and can answer any further questions.
The public hearing is open. Is anybody for or against before we vote? Close the public hearing. Council?
I'll make the motion to approve an ordinance amending the 2008 zoning conditions for Phase 4 of the Henry's Glen Plan residential development, eliminating the proposed pool and clubhouse from the development plans in accordance with the revised 2011 site plans submitted and on file with the city's developmental and design department.
Second.
Motion, second. Discussion.
In that document that you referred to, Sally, all of the existing property owners were in favor of this. Is that correct, Kathleen?
All but one, I believe.
Yeah, I do have copies of the signed resolutions by all the homeowners association members, except for one. And that one individual, I think, chose not to sign the document. I believe there's representatives from the new owners that can maybe allude to any questions that you have regarding their changes or change in ownership.
Now, are the streets, have they been, does the city take care of the streets now, or is that still part of the?
A portion of the streets have been taken over by the city. Some of the streets in Phase 2 have been improved to our standards, but have not yet been taken over by the city, mainly because that Phase 2 section has not been fully platted. And once they do that, then we would accept maintenance, permanent maintenance on the remainder of the streets. Some of the streets in that subdivision are private and are privately maintained by the homeowners association, such as the small streets that run in behind the townhomes. So there are a few minor private streets in that development.
Are there any changes that are significant that you folks would like to bring to our attention?
Certainly nothing more than has been presented.
State your name and where you reside, sir.
My name is John Brunner, and I'm from Charlotte. And BB&T Bank is actually the current owner. We're an affiliate of BB&T Bank. They've regretfully foreclosed on the property from the previous developer borrower. As far as any other significant changes, essentially this is the change that's, essentially been requested both by the de facto developer, being BB&T Bank, as well as affirmed by the, I think, 18 out of 20 or some percentage like that of the homeowners.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Anything from your desk, Sally?
I think that's it.
We appreciate everybody coming tonight. Roy, you have a safe trip back to Raleigh. And by the way, early voting continues as we speak to go toward all the way till Saturday at 1 o'clock. And then Election Day is the 11th. Same way, by the way, Roy and I talked, by the way, the great thing about Raleigh, and the city of Raleigh has their election the same day we do, and the school board also. Isn't that a shame? A lot of people don't like that, Roy, but we like it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good trip. Meeting adjourned.